This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Hoffman. Today is Thursday, May the 11th, 2023. We're so glad you could join us. Coming up in today's program, we hear from House Ag Committee Chairman G.T. Thompson of Pennsylvania. He addressed the National Association of Farm Broadcasting's Washington Watch. We have his opening remarks, and he answers one of my questions about conservation titles, and some Democrats push to tie them to the safety net programs. We'll hear from him there. We'll also take a look at that ag weather outlook. Could see some rain coming up in that forecast. But first, let's run down the markets. It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net. Well, we're at the end of another trading day, and we're turning to Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. Kaden, it's been an interesting day today. What did we see in that marketplace for the grains?
Yeah, the whipsaw market we've been seeing this week leading into tomorrow's WASDE continued today. 2 days ago, corn was down 10. Yesterday, it was up 9. Today, back down 12 again. So on the week, corn's down 14. Beans finally found a little bit of support. They've been down all week, traded lower again this morning and wound up closing higher. Still down 27 on the week or so. But, it's I think a lot of the market really is just waiting for tomorrow's numbers, really.
So what are we kind of expecting to see? Any surprises? I know we've had those Chinese cancellations of corn orders, or at least postponements to new crop. I mean, is there anything that we really think might come that might be just, that we know is just right there on the horizon?
Yeah, on old crop, we kind of see carryout probably going up a little bit. Like you said, maybe a little bit of demand rolling back. But I think the big thing, especially looking at the 23 crop, is this is the first time the USDA will take a look at what 2023's balance sheet will be. And so if you figure, like 92 million acres like we got in prospective plantings and like 181 trend yield, all of a sudden our carryout's over 2 billion bushels. Whereas this year it's more like 1.3, 1.4. So that will be the thing to watch. That's kind of where the analysts are estimating. So I guess it won't be a huge shock if that comes, other than it's just a huge jump year over year.
Do we think the market's been pretty well pricing that in already just to get ahead of it? Or do we think that could be something that if the numbers are skewed from what we think, the markets will react accordingly?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's priced in. Those estimates have been out for most of the week. And really, if you look at July corn as compared to September or even DC, it's been pretty strong here in the last week and a half. So I think a lot of that's priced in. It's just going to be a little bit of a shock if it comes to fruition, which, with the weather patterns looking like they may be El Nino, we have a better shot getting the trend yield than we have in the past couple of years.
All right, let's switch over to the livestock side of things. I know for hog producers, they didn't get the news they wanted to hear today about Prop 12. I mean, is that going to have any impact, you think, on the market going forward? And also, what did the cattle do today?
Yeah, really, livestock across the board fairly quiet. The big winner today, really, I guess, feeders up about $1, $1.20. Fat cattle pretty quiet, but yeah. Hogs, I've been on here, I don't know how many months in a row, just saying, man, we need a friend. We continue trading on the low end of the range. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, Prop 12 can't beat them down any more than they already are. Just down about 25 cents today or so. But gosh, I sure hope we're finding the end of the tunnel here soon.
And switching back into that cattle side of things, I mean, we've seen the offers not quite as good from the Packers. They obviously bought in advance last week. I mean, is that anything that we need to be worrying about, or is that just a kind of a natural ebb and flow of the marketplace?
I think it's more natural ebb and flow. I think overall supply is still down quite a bit from last year. I think demand will continue to stay strong, relatively speaking. And again, if like we were talking about earlier, if the price of corn comes down, that's only going to be helpful, especially to feeders. So, livestock still got a pretty good trend line going. I think they're going to be okay for now.
And to wrap up then today, Kaden, did we see anything really surprising in those export reports this morning?
Nothing super surprising. They weren't good necessarily. Corn sales, I'm looking about 250,000 metric tons. Bean sales just a little bit over zero. I guess people really, to be honest, were a little bit relieved that corn sales weren't zero after all the cancellations. So nothing to write home about, but at least a little bit of a positive there.
All right, Kaden. Well, if folks want to pick the brains of all of you at agmarket.net and find out what kind of their marketing options are going forward here, what's the best way for them to get in contact?
Yeah, just go to our website, agmarket.net. You can reach any of our brokers, any of our staff there, and kind of get a marketing plan put together here as we enter the heart of the growing season.
All right, Kaden. Well, we thank you so much for the insight, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Yep, thanks, Dustin. Appreciate it.
And that again was Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and run down the closing numbers, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. July corn was down 11 3/4 at 582 1/4. December down 7 at 513 3/4. July soybeans up 1.5 at 1405 1/2. November down 2 3/4 at 1248 even. Soy meal up $11.90 at 431.40. Soy oil down 90 cents at 51.15. Chicago wheat down 14 cents at 627 1/4. Minneapolis down 12 3/4 at 836 3/4. Kansas wheat down 13 3/4 at 841 1/2. July oats down 4.5 at 333 even. June live cattle down a nickel at 162.95. May feeders down $1.25 at 204.12. Lean hogs down 30 cents at 83.87. Pork cutouts 55 cents lower at 88.07. Class 3 milk 18 cents lower at 16.28. And that's been the Ag Market Recap. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, we will hear from House Ag Committee Chairman G.T. Thompson. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AMPM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. With the 23 Farm Bill negotiations going on, of course, members of both parties are trying to tie some stipulations of the Farm Bill together with others. There's been a push from Democrats to tie the conservation titles to some of the safety net titles. We talked with House Ag Committee Chairman Glenn G.T. Thompson at Washington Watch with the National Association of Farm Broadcasting. He addressed that question I asked him, plus a few other general comments.
This little thing that we need to get done that, quite frankly, it may be the most effective bipartisan bill that we passed in the 118th Congress. At least that's what I keep hearing from leadership on both sides of the aisle. Or one of the most important piece of legislation, that would be the Farm Bill. And I really I think all the work and the time that we have put into preparing for this Farm Bill, kind of non-traditionally, for whatever reason, we lost about it probably over 2 years. Part of that was COVID and hangover from COVID. But at the same time, when I became ranking member, I departed on a perpetual barnstorming tour of American agriculture. Literally been in over 40 states in 2 years and 3 months, staying there long enough to identify and to hear and to listen to the voices of rural America and of American agriculture. And it really, I think, has been paid tremendous dividends. We have people at the table from all across this country, probably more than my experience with the first two farm bills that I had the privilege of being able to working with in 18 and 14. And I think that puts us in a really solid position going forward. No one wants us to write this farm bill listening to just the voices inside the bubble, inside the Beltway of Washington. And we really have and most recently, as some of you probably have followed, we were in Binghamton, New York, Broome County Extension Office, where the Farm Bureau was given birth. I guess that's where it started. It was kind of cool, the history there. Didn't know that. We had, once again, standing room only. Friday will be in Raleigh, North Carolina, or in North Carolina, with doing some round tables and listening sessions. Over in Florida on Monday to do that. And we're going to continue this because it's the audit phase of the Farm Bill. But preparing for the Farm Bill. But I'm just really impressed and pleased with the information that's coming in, and not just those who testify, those who submit written testimony, not just the hearings that we've had, even like the hearing this week when we had Undersecretary and the veterinarian with APHIS, but the listening set, but also the online contributions and ideas and thoughts and what I like to call homegrown solutions. I think that puts us in a really good place going forward to be able to write a farm bill, and I stick to my overall goal. One is done on time, in a bipartisan, bicameral way, and most importantly, highly effective. And the highly effective part comes when we do a good job of listening, using what God has given us, 2 ears and 1 mouth. I've been very, very proud of the members of the committee and the members off the committee who have joined us in these listening sessions. The fact that we made history with, I'm not sure the last time, if ever, we had a Speaker of the House sit in on a Farm Bill listening session. That happened in Tulare, California, and it wasn't a photo op. Speaker McCarthy came early, talked with informally with farmers and ranchers, stayed for the entire 2.5 hours of the listening session, and listened, exercised those listening skills the whole time, and then stayed afterwards to follow up network. And I think that's one of the strengths we have of leadership, I think on both sides of the aisle, of the work that we're doing on the Farm Bill, the bicameral work that we have, the four corners, Senator Stabenow, who's become a close friend, working together, Senator Bozeman, who was a mentor of mine when I came into the House, and we were Bible study buddies together. So that's a pretty firm foundation to build off of. And then and Ranking Member David Scott, who's just a good friend, great colleague. I was proud to support him when he was chairman, and I have his full support now that I'm chairman. And so those and the quality of the committee, there's just a lot of good things that are there. The one thing that probably is our biggest challenge is the clock. The fact that this current Farm Bill expires the end of September, but I am an eternal optimist and leaning in on getting this done. We have an obligation to those hardworking families that provide us food, fiber, building materials, and energy resources, and quite frankly, all families across the country that rely on us to have access to the nutrition, have the economic impact that rural America provides, the jobs, the just tremendous contributions we have to a better environment and a cleaner climate, because those are all things that happen through the number one industry in this country, which is agriculture, an industry that can be defined very simply, in my opinion, by 3 words: science, technology, and innovation. So I want this to be a farm bill that certainly serves everyone for 23 through 28, but it should go beyond that too. I mean, we want to provide the platform for the farm of the future and American agriculture to continue to be not to be static, but to be dynamic in what it does and what it provides. We're somewhere around 279% increase in productivity. We slipped a little bit with to that number with inflation. But I think our goal is to do this in a way where we put policies in place that by the year 2035, we'll see American agriculture productivity go to 400%. And I think I'm pretty confident we can do that. Pretty enthusiastic about it, actually. So I'll stop there because I'd sooner hear whatever questions you might have. And so, is there a moderator, or I get to pick? I get to pick. Well, we'll start right here.
All right. Thank you for taking my question. Thank you for being here. Dustin Huffman, Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network out of Des Moines. You just talked about, the climate practices and the things that are being done, whether that's cover crops or whatever. We're seeing good results out of them, but they've always been voluntary. Now we know there are some on the Democratic side that want to start tying those practices to safety nets and different programs. How do we get that where we're seeing good results, encourage more people, but keep it voluntary, but also kind of light that fire to get people to start thinking about it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And it's not broken. And it's not static. We're not standing still in our productivity. We're not standing still. What were the contributions we're making to with science, technology, and innovation. How do we incentivize that? Because, well, we make sure that programs like all those under the conservation title are robust. I think we took a transformation. Another positive, I think, makes me optimistic is all the great things we accomplished as Four Corners at the end of the year last year. You know, the rice fix, the CWD bill, the reauthorizing 700 different chemicals for pesticide use, but specifically the Sustains Act, which is transformational, creates a public-private partnership. Folks that want to get their climate credentials as supporting sustainability and climate can write a check to USDA, and so that's part of it. Making sure the programs remain incentives. Tying the hands of our. Why would we do that when these programs work? When we've been continually increasing our productivity. There's a right way and a wrong way to encourage, right, and to incentivize, and it's not to tie the hands by tying any type of anything to crop insurance that would do that. I think it would have an adverse effect. I really like what we're accomplishing the way it is, and I'm not looking to see those strings attached.
And that was House Ag Committee Chairman G.T. Thompson of Pennsylvania. And let's run down that ag weather outlook. Well, we started off with some cloudy skies, and the sun broke through here in Des Moines, and we got some very beautiful skies. The clouds were starting to build back off to the west, and we had that chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day across the state. Still a chance of that staying with us tonight and into tomorrow. Let's see what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. Well, it's been a cloudy day across much of the state, and we've seen chances of rain and thunderstorms throughout the day, and they've been scattered throughout here and there throughout the course of the day. Highs today were in the upper 70s to the low 80s. Now, tonight is going to remain mostly cloudy, still that widespread chance for showers and storms, lows in the low 60s. And then tomorrow, widespread chances of showers and storms still continuing across the state. Highs will be anywhere from the upper 70s to the mid 80s. Looking at the affiliate weather map for you for tomorrow, Cherokee showers and storms in 77, Shenandoah possibility of storms in 85, Des Moines rainy in 80, Waterloo rain in 78, Albia also raining, maybe a chance of storms in 80, Clinton chance of showers and storms and 78 degrees. And that was our ag weather outlook. For more detailed forecasts in your area, tune to your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And with that, we're at the end of today's show. You can find all of our content online at iowaagnet.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on our YouTube channel. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified each time we put out a new video product. You can also check out our free Twice Daily Market podcasts on Google, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Riley Smith and Mark Magnuson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.